That's not, and I've double-checked my scale of like 1 to 10. Is that good? That's not that
No,
great.
it's not that
I
great.
guess we'll just have to find out in practice if it's as good or if it's less than bueno. So we jump into game 1 with J-Mac and Trelly.
That's right. We got the Juggernauts and the Minotaurs here for game number 1, set number 1 of our weekend in the Divisional Stars event. It's J-Mac, Trelly, and Doug here bringing the action for game 1, and we will be getting a Freya jungle from Oath. So while Myth says may not be as bueno as it once was, we'll have to see, at least in practice, how it can perform, Trelly. We got a very squishy, a very immobile composition by the Minotaurs, and one that's also very lacking in CC.
I just can't believe Twitch poll is just so in favor of the Juggernauts.
Yeah.
I can't. There's nothing on my
That's
screen.
staggering.
There's nothing on my screen that would indicate such a rough time for the Minotaurs. You know, nothing like the lack of early pressure with all these mages and the fact that they really need to get late game before they can get some of their carries online. I'm not seeing any of that here. I'm seeing absolute early to late game dominance from the Minotaurs, and I expect the Juggernauts to be kind of quaking in their boots. And looking at the relic choices, they're getting those blinks to run away, J-Mac. They're not trying to go in. You know, when was the last time you saw a Hebo blink in aggressively? No, Pagon got that to try and run away from the aggressive style of the Minotaurs. There's no doubt about it.
So you're thinking it should have been 75-25 the other way around. It should have been 75, maybe more in favor of Minotaurs compared to the Juggernauts.
I mean, if I was, you know, if I cared about my channel points, that's what I would have done.
And you
Just by
care about
looking,
them a lot.
just by looking at the draft, you know. Like I don't care about the players. Let's just look at the gods alone. That Freya jungle's spooky.
Freya jungle is not fun to deal with, especially if you let it get to early game, or let it get to late game, I should say.
No, early game is where she is the strongest. I agree.
Early game is very good. You don't want her to get to late game because that's where she falls off.
Exactly.
That's where it
And
gets
that's
worse
just-
for you. So
yep.
you want to win the first 25 if you're the Minotaurs.
Bingo. That is the plan. And jokes aside, I do think that the Juggernauts have they have to play a little safe. I mean, if you go triple blink like this, Exhibit A, you get portaled, you're going to take a lot of damage if you're Pagon. So Ven's going to have to be on point trying to land this bit of CC. If you're not able to use those blinks effectively, you're going to lose a little bit of pressure. And it does seem like the Minotaurs have pressure throughout the entirety of the map at the moment.
Oh, Pagon picked up. Again, doesn't have those speeds. Speeds by Oath, but it's while he's in the air. And a juke of the Unstable Vortex. Pagon will be just fine. Good setup there by Oath, but the follow-up not quite on point by the Minotaurs. So Juggernauts, mid laner Pagon, able to snake his way out and avoid at first blood. This Hebo Raven, a deadly duo to run themselves through at least the early game. Once a few of those levels come online, it's going to be scary to walk into those two in the jungle.
Yeah, definitely at level 5. Much more threatening. At the moment, they've got decent clear, but they have to watch out for the CC. We saw Oath on point with the whoops from the Freya jungle, and of course Ven with the portal. You don't have beads, you gotta watch out for those portals. Sot does blink in. I'm wondering, does he have the burst?
One more on
He
him.
does! Wow, Basket did not expect that much burst damage. You know he wanted to go for the corpse explosion, but he didn't quite have the time.
Hurry blinks in. He gets 2 chains, lands the third one up against Mike, but not enough damage for a kill over there. So first blood, what almost was a kill for Baskin. In fact, Baskin was even walking forward thinking, okay, I'm gonna stop this back. I'm gonna get the kill here. Quick blink by Sot. Turns the tides, and now it's the Juggernauts with first blood on the board.
Gotta say, it is not easy to blink Tiger Stun. Usually when you blink in like that, you want to go for the Ox form. You have to be on point going for the blink Tiger Stun, and Sot knew. There were some thin margins there for that solo kill. If he misses, if he accidentally Ox, if he goes too slow, Baskin's got so much regen, he's able to pick up some of those corpses. But he executes it perfectly. Easy first blood, and now might have a bit of a rougher time here. Speaking of rough times, Coast isn't looking too hot and adapting. Able to pick up the second kill here for the Juggernauts.
2 on the board already for the Juggernauts. Just not even 3 minutes into the game, really speeding up the pace. From what we saw in some of our previous events, I mean, you look back at Gauntlet, we're seeing a lot of slower paced games from both of our regions. You can go back towards Masters, we're pushing 10, 15 minutes before anybody's really getting active, but here, at least in game number 1 of our set, the Juggernauts want to make their stamp known. They're going to put 1 kill on Sot earlier on and now add 1 to Adapting's column.
Yep, and now you have to watch out for not only the fed Wukong, who's not too fed, but still, at the very least, is going to have a bit of a lead. But where does this Raven decide to get active? I'm looking at an Outwash with no beads for the next minute or so. There is some room for Adapting to make Baskin's life just a little bit worse on the right side of the map. Or stick to the left. There is a shield buff, and I see an AMC without beads as well. Depends on who your target is, but here comes Adapting.
Fast sidestep, a blink in for adapting, gets an ultimate from Hurry Win, and not going to use any beads, just an overhead kick by adapting. It notches another kill in his column, making it 2 for the jungler of the Juggernauts. One of the favorites to win. I mean, watching some of the polls on Twitter, watching some of the fan reactions to these teams, a lot of favoritism going over towards this team. Maybe it's because it's got 3 of the Warriors, who are one of the most dominant teams we've had in Smite history, plus adapting and Mike. We'll see how the Juggernauts can perform throughout their set. It is best of 5 throughout. Pagon falls through the portal, needs the ultimate, will get the kill, but will trade out his life 1 for 1 in the mid, and it's Oath to get the cleanup kill after.
Beautiful portal there. Not enough. Once the crushing wave comes through, Pagon's going to guarantee pick up at least 1 kill. But Oath was there to try and help out and make sure that the extra damage does not keep going, and Pagon's not able to find a knock-up and at least get the return kill. So finally the Minotaurs are on the board. A good look, and hey, if you want anyone getting some early pressure, looking at this comp, I'm thinking you'd want it to be the Freya jungle, right? Unless it's Vaporishkos, who's been having a rough time over in lane. Getting the Freya online as quickly as possible. Probably good looks, you know? Good sign that there's a chance the Minotaurs are able to make it to late game where this comp, in my mind, gets just a little bit better. Just a little bit, though.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, we don't really see Freya jungle much at all. As mentioned, we saw Myth play a little bit yesterday.
And I'm happy about it.
Is the build pretty much the same pathing in jungle as it is if you were playing it carry? I mean, aside from starter item where normally we'd see like Conduit Gem or something like that, is it basically just build a whole bunch of rings and then a little bit of power at the very end of it, or is there any kind of maybe changes you think when it comes to a Freya jungle build?
Well, I can tell you that, you know, Hasten Ring is the staple. Obviously, Oath gets that first. Now you can have fun on Freya. You can go for a whoop and just run someone down. After that, kind of dealer's choice. You want as much damage as possible. Oath, luckily, does have that ultimate to get away from Netroid and is going to be fine for now. But you said it right. You need those extra rings online. Maybe Oath can go back to base and pick up some because Pagon makes the rotation over. Here comes Ven. Does go for the ultimate. Does Harrywin have a pull is the question. Nope. Just going to grab the beads and the crushing wave. At the very least, rotate it in just to watch their jungle go down. But hey, that's the kind of support you want from your mid laner. You know, using those Janus ults, even if it doesn't help, at least he tried.
Would have been nice if you could have gotten Mike there, but I think he was just out of range of grabbing Mike. And a potential pick there for the Minotaurs. Only 1, and that 1 kill came from Pagon diving under a tier 1 tower, falling through a Giannis portal, and then Oath grabbing the last hit of that combo. That's 5 kills up for the Juggernauts, but not much of a lead yet, Charlie. Only about 1,000 gold, even despite all these kills. Not a whole lot of map play that's necessarily gone in favor, at least of the Juggernauts. Experience is sitting to around the same tune, about 700 to 1,000, going back and forth on the wave. So even despite all this early advantage, all these early kills that have gone to the Juggernauts, haven't really been able to build a lead from it just yet.
Yeah, it seems like Oath's been on point with finding some farm. You know, has a lead in the jungle up against adapting, and of course, despite the fact that Baskin fell down.